Speed depends on the engine. In today's episode, we're going to work on the low back as a way to open up the flow of creativity and compassion in your work and relationships. Let's start with pressing the feet down into the floor, lengthening up through the spine. Just following your breath as it moves in and out of your body. And taking one hand to the center of your chest, one hand to your belly. And as you breathe, the hand that is on your chest begins to lift. And towards the end of the breath, the belly is expanding out. And then as you exhale, the belly goes in and the chest lowers. And really what you're doing here is connecting more to your heart, more to your gut. These two places talk to one another. And when we are willing to get out of our mind for a little bit, we can start to hear their wisdom. And sometimes when you begin to listen, all you hear is silence, and that's okay. Sometimes it's nice just to hear quiet, right? Silence, too, is a gift. A little slice of peace. Take a moment to think about how you feel right now on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the best, 1 being the worst. How do you feel in your body? And how do you want to feel at the end of this little mini practice? Let the hands lower to the legs and gently breathe in through the nose, breathe out softly through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Last time in through the nose, out through the mouth. And let the eyes flutter open. Take your left hand to the outside of your right knee, and the tendency is that we'll pull the knee over just a little bit as we do this, but if you will press your feet down into the floor and you resist your knee into your hand, as you take your right hand behind you, you twist and you grow just a little bit taller as you press the feet down into the floor. Maybe you look back over your right shoulder. Coming back to the front, take your right hand to the left knee, resist it as you take your left hand behind you, twisting. Come back to the front. Take your right leg out in front and just gently lean forward. Both hands are on the left knee. Your right leg is straight and the toes are up, and you're just getting a little gentle stretch in through the back of your thigh. If you're tight, it may be more than a gentle stretch, and if that's the case, back off 10%. You just want a gentle stretch, and if you feel like it's really pulling up closer to the buttock, bend your knee just a little bit. Now take the right foot, place it on top of the ankle, right on top of the left thigh, allowing the right knee to pull out. And where you should be feeling this is the outer edge of your right hip. And from here, you can start to lean forward just a little bit as long as you can keep the back straight. If you start to collapse down, you want to back off until you're able to have a nice long spine. Take about 3-4 deep breaths here. Each exhale allowing you to soften into the stretch here, just allowing a little bit more opening. You may even feel it into the right buttock if you're really tight. Bring it back up and place that foot down and just take a moment to check into your body. How does the right side feel compared to the left right now? Even just doing those 2 gentle stretches can sometimes make a huge difference. Let's even you up. Left leg, the toes are pointed up, and we lean forward, keeping the hands lightly on the top of the right thigh. And if it's stretching too high up into the thigh, gently bend your knee just a little bit and lean into it a little more. Deepen your breath. One more breath here. Coming back up, bending your knee, placing the ankle on the top of the right knee and lengthening tall, feeling that stretch in through the outer left hip this time. Maybe you can lean forward a little bit, finding your breath, noticing that this side for me is tighter today, which is a little bit unusual. So I'm not going to go very far forward. I'm just going to back off a little bit, and as I deepen my breath, invite a softening into my right and left hips so that maybe the left hip will go down just a little bit more. Coming back up, place the foot down and just take a second to check in. Notice how the right side feels compared to the left side now. And we're going to use the mat to do the rest of this. So you will be lying on the floor for the remainder of this. Coming on to your back, opening the feet as wide as the mat, maybe even a little bit wider. So I go maybe 6 or 7 inches away from the edge of the mat. And then as I drop my knees towards one another, I'm coming onto the inner edge of my feet. And I'm trying to keep my rib cage on the floor. The low back is in a neutral position. And this can be a deep stretch for a lot of people. It can be too much in through the groin or through the outer hip. And if that is the case, if you're feeling like this is just too much, just do one side of it at a time. Still keeping the rib cage on the floor and thinking about that knee reaching out to the front. Make sure that you do both sides. And then you can try it again, coming into the center, noticing if it is any easier for you. Let's take 3 breaths here because this is such a good stretch. And then bringing the knees back up, walking the feet together. Take the right leg out and just bounce it up and down. Turn the toes to the right, reach out towards the right corner of the mat and bounce up and down. But you want to try to keep the left hip even with the right hip so it's not dropping. Turn the toes up to the ceiling, come back to the front and bounce it up and down. Bend the knee. Have to scoot back just a little bit to have enough space here. Take the left leg out and bounce it up and down. Turn the toes to the left. Take your leg out towards the left diagonally, but keep the right hip even with the left as you bounce up and down. Turn the toes up, come back to the center, bounce up and down. It's a good one for the hip flexors. Take your arms out to the side, lift the feet and lift the knees so that the knees are over the hips and the feet are extended out. Take your legs all the way over to the right, keeping your left shoulder blade down on the floor. Bring the knees up. Take it over to the other side. And since we're already on our side, we'll just roll over and press up, coming into a seated position again. You can find a pillow to sit on and just close your eyes and notice how your back feels now. Remember that number when we started. Where are you now? And deepen your breath even more, allowing yourself to really be present in any of the positive sensations that you've created in this stretching. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling softly through the mouth. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling softly through the mouth. One more time, inhaling through the nose, and exhaling softly through the mouth. Gently open your eyes, coming back into this present moment. Remember, when you start to feel your low back getting tight, take a moment to relax. Take a moment to do some gentle side stretches, maybe even some side stretches, which we didn't really do today, but even something as simple as that can make such a huge difference in the health of your lower back. Thank you, guys.